So before we went into lockdown, I was at the point already where I was supposed to be at the hairdresser to get my roots redone. And due to personal reasons regarding my father being sick, I had to cancel my appointment, and I went into lockdown already needing to have my roots done. So as you can see here, they're pretty grey. Now, it's not something that I consciously am ashamed of or anything, but I just, I get my roots done like a lot of people. And obviously now we've been into lockdown, I don't even know now, what, a month? I'm not sure. Now, I'm not even at home at the moment. I've left my home and I've come to stay with my parents because my father's ill. And before I went, I kind of grabbed everything in case I was going to be here for sort of 3 months. So I've kind of relocated myself. And one of the things I grabbed from my cabinet was all of the touch-up root things that I possess. So I've got the 3 products that I own, and I thought I'd do a video for you so that you can, if this is something that you need to deal with while you're on lockdown and you want to buy something online, you can see what they're like. So I've got 3 that I'm going to test out for you. So the first product that I'm going to use for my roots is the Josh Wood colour. Now, how this comes is it comes with like a brush, and you press the bottom of this and it pushes the colour out, and then you paint it on the roots like this. So I'm going to do this one now, and then we'll see how we get on. I don't want to make too much of a mess if I'm honest, so we'll just see how we go. So the colour comes out like this, and then you just have to go along the root like this and sort of push it in to the colour. Right, and so you can also see that I'm quite, gosh, I'm really revealing all now, aren't I? I'm pretty, my greyiest patches are actually these ones at the side. So if I wear my hair back, it's quite grey there. So I think this is the hardest bit because it's a bit like around the hairline where it can look really dodge. So just keep doing that all the way around, and I'm going to carry on doing that. I think you're supposed to kind of keep it off the scalp, but obviously around these bits it's quite tricky. Try and go down these bits here. I mean, really all we're needing to do is kind of it not look too blindingly obvious over a Zoom call, or if you just want to just feel better if it's something that bothers you. These bits are a bit hard around the ear. It's funny, you don't normally see how bad it gets. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I've toyed with the idea of using this lockdown as an excuse to let these greys grow out. So I'm not 100% decided what I'm going to do when I come out of lockdown. If I'm going to decide to just go grey, or at least start the transition. I'm mixed. 1 minute I think, oh yes, and just be done with the dye before I go completely into permanent dye, because at the moment I don't have permanent dye and I have sort of semi-permanent, so it's not quite a completely hard line, and I quite like the idea of it. And then I'm like, oh, I don't know if I'm ready to be grey. I don't know if I'm ready to own my age out there in the world, and just to keep that one up. Anyway, so that's kind of that done. A bit better. I'm just going to give it a little bit of a dry off with the dryer. So this is the result of the Josh Wood root touch up. So as you can see, I think that's actually done a good job, especially when the amount of root that I had was pretty deep, you know, it's quite a long stretch. Most people in normal times wouldn't need to leave their hair that long before going back to the hairdresser. It's quite claggy when you put it on, but you know, it feels a little bit like when you've had dry shampoo on. It just takes that edge off. You can still see obviously that I've got greys, but it makes it a bit more like it's sort of salt and pepper really. So I think that's a pretty good one. It'll be interesting to see how, although I've used the other two, I've not used them in, you know, as a comparison, so I'm interested myself in knowing which one does the best job. So that was the first one for Root Touch Up, and that's Josh Wood. So my number 2 in Root Touch Up is Colour Wow, and like I've said before, it's a powder rather than a liquid, and the way that you do it is you just brush it on to the roots. So today, you know, it's funny, today I don't feel like they look so bad, but I know that they do stand out. So again, like I've said, in everyday life, this is probably too much root for this, it's too big a job for it, but just, you know, if you're on a Zoom call or you just want to take the edges off, it's good enough. So the way that Colour Wow works is you basically put the powder onto the brush, press it in, and tap off anything loose, and then you basically kind of just go by pushing it into the hair along there. Just take that off. That's the first sweep down the centre, which I think is actually really good. And then what I would do is, with the partition comb, just go another bit over and just do the next bit, so it's sort of the underside. Just to get it covered. Now I've just put my hair up, and I'm just going to do these bits around here because this is almost the biggest sort of giveaway part, is this front bit. So I'm just going to do this bit around here. And the sort of parting bit that's been created there. So I've gone round and I've done the centre, and I've done in here, and then I've done that, and as you can see, my hands are a bit grubby, but I think that's pretty amazing really. And also this is the bit where I feel like if I put my hair up, that's often the real giveaway, I feel, at the moment, you know, when I answer the door. And that's that grey that I get there. I think that's pretty impressive. So yeah, so that was my second one. Oof, I'm in a right mess now. That was the Colour Wow. So number 3 in my Root Touch Up review is the L'Oreal Magic Retouch. Now this is one, I don't think I've actually used this. I think I bought it and I haven't used it yet, so this will be just as interesting to me. It comes on like a mascara wand, which you can see. So I'm going to give this one a go. Again, I'm going to just go down the centre parting and just see how easy this is to apply. It seems pretty easy. So I've now gone round the parting the whole way round, and it seems to have done a pretty good job. So it's kind of from the wet side. So now what I'm going to do is just almost like I did before, go slightly to the side and do the under. Right then, let's sort this out. That's the third one. That was the L'Oreal Magic Touch. Now look at my hands, so obviously in a bit of a mess. That feels a little bit, well, quite sticky. So I'd probably just put a bit of a blow dry on that to just dry it out a bit. But a bit like I found with the Josh Wood, it's almost, because it's wet, it does some sort of temporary dyeing. So I think it almost sinks in a little bit more into the hairs. But let's just do the hair back test and see what happens on the. Now I haven't necessarily done it as if I was really thorough, but I think that's pretty good. I can't really see on this camera, but anyway, that gives you an idea. And obviously it's good if you sort of massage it in a bit. So that was number 3. So that was my review of 3 of the Root touch-up products available. I can't say they're my 3 of the best because I don't know, I haven't really thought about other ones that are out there. These are the 3 I happened just to have in my cupboard when lockdown happened. So my conclusion is, if I was in a store and I saw any of those, I would be confident that they do a good job. I liked all of them. But in reverse order, I think I'd do Josh Wood. Now that's not to say I didn't think it was good, I just think that it was a bit harder to apply. One of the good things about it was that it actually kind of dyed the root, so that when I came to use another product, the roots weren't as kind of grey white as they were before. So I think with use, they kind of dye the root, which in this kind of situation where we're not able to get our roots done, it kind of makes the process, even after you've shampooed, the roots are a little bit less obvious than they might have been without it. My second choice, number 2, would be this one. I thought it was really easy to apply with the mascara wand. I think, I'll have to snot the camera, never mind, sorry about that. If you had a very, very white hair, black dye, this would probably take a lot of, well, all of them actually would probably take a lot of effort, but this is because the wand is so small. It's quite a lot of, it's quite fiddly, but I do feel that this was easy to apply, particularly for those little hairs around the front, because it catches all the little wispy bits. It really catches the wispy bits really well. So I think if you've got lots of fine hair, that would definitely be my choice for that. But my number 1 is the one that I was using before. So again, it confirms me, is the colour Wow. And the reason that I like this one best is it was easy to apply, but also I do feel with the other ones there's a slight clagginess, and although the next day that wears out a bit, you would need to blow dry and do some other stuff. This is really, you just can put it on, and it kind of even adds as a little bit of a dry shampooed sort of texture with the roots if you have oily roots. So it kind of is, you put it on and you can go. One thing I would say about all of them is that they do obviously get on your hands, and you can catch yourself in the mirror 10 minutes later and you have got bits all over your face. So it's one of those things that if you put it on, I would check the mirror more than you might normally. I also feel that all of the products were good like the next day and the day after, all of them. I'm not a massive hair washer, and obviously in these times particularly, so I felt that over days they even kind of came into their own where the colour was probably absorbed a bit more. And all of them lasted, but again, I would say make sure that if you've got particularly lovely white pillows, that you probably sleep with a towel on your pillow or something else to catch the dye, because it does sort of leave obviously the marks all over the pillow that would not normally happen with your normal hair dye. So I hope you found that useful. I was really pleasantly surprised by all of those products. So if you're in the supermarket or you're doing an online order and you see any of these brands, I hope that that's helped you see how you can apply them, and that you find that any of them would be useful for you. Thanks very much, and I hope you keep yourself safe, and I'll see you again soon.